Hello and welcome to this quick webinar where we'll be discussing how to turn every lesson into a STEM career lesson. All of you on the call today or watching this recording later are Conroe ISD teachers and administrators. I've seen that Conroe is doing a lot for college and career readiness, and I am honored to be an awarded vendor for your district. I feel that we've got a lot of mutual collaboration points, and I'm excited to get started. So I'm Ashley Pareda. I am the owner of Career in STEM. A quick note, if you've been looking on the approved vendor list, you may see us under Greater Good Consultants LLC, which is the parent company of Career in STEM. This is my beautiful family. My kids, of course, are very cute, which is why I show these pictures, but also to underscore the fact that everything in my store or that I've developed over the years that exists on Career in STEM has been developed with real students. So whether it's things that I've done here at home with my own kids, things I've done to help out at my church youth group, or as a middle and high school science teacher here in Hartford, Connecticut, everything has been tried, tested, and true with real kids. Why STEM careers? There is tremendous opportunity in STEM fields, and here are just some of the quick highlights of why all of this matters. There will be 3.5 million new jobs in STEM within the next 5 years. STEM professionals earn double the national average compared to non-STEM professionals. And in Texas especially, but across the nation, there's a tremendous need for qualified STEM workers, with millions of jobs going unfilled across the country. Especially in Texas, I've heard from a lot of different companies that they have more available jobs than they have available workers. So the sooner we can prepare our students to enter these professions, the better for both the Texas economy and nationwide. My goal for you in this webinar is to help you help your students define their interests and connect them to careers. My approach is by doing the same content, but through a new lens, the new lens being the STEM career lens. It is not by doing something different, which will be the focus of this webinar. It's to do what you're already going to do, but with a new lens. I feel that so many times in education, we're bombarded by the next, latest, greatest idea, thing we should try. This is not something different or extra or new. It's just a different way to deliver your same content. So when I say a new lens, what do I mean? I mean a STEM career lens. Our resources span the pre-K to 12 spectrum. So I have two different examples to show you what I mean. The first I did actually last year with my son's teacher when he was in kindergarten. It was a lesson, an intro to heart rates, so how to do an experiment. And we did the same exact lesson with the same experiment, but we delivered it through the lens of a cardiologist, a scientist who studies hearts. So obviously a natural connection there. The only thing that I really did any different or extra was to define cardiologist. I just named the career, a very student-friendly definition of what they do, and then they proceeded to go through the same lesson, but through the lens of a cardiologist, through the lens of the STEM career. So I haven't done anything different. All I've done is deliver the same thing, but through a different lens. Similar for a high school example, I had taught 9th grade physical science, and one of the things that was always challenging was to teach magnetism. So in implementing the STEM career lens, we still did the same thing. We still built this thing to show that magnetic fields existed and how they work. But instead of just building this thing, we built an MRI machine. Instead of them being just paper clips, we called them cells of the body. Instead of just doing a standard lab conclusion, they still answered how the science was working, but in terms of an MRI machine, rather than science for the sake of science. So in doing this, I've exposed students to different careers. I've engaged them in the practices of what those real professionals do, and I haven't really had to change a thing on my lesson. I just delivered it through a different focus. So a summary of the tip there, still do the same thing, same standards, same content, just add in that STEM career piece. You can do all of this on your own, of course. It's not rocket science. Or you can use one of our 150 plus prep-free resources that I've already developed using this approach. As an awarded vendor for your district, all Conroe teachers get 15% off everything in our store and site-wide. One more thing to underscore here is just that instant relevance piece. Regardless of who you're trying to teach, our goal is not to make them be an MRI technician. It's not to make them be a cardiologist. But what we've done is added that relevance piece by at least telling them that, hey, there's a career that relates to this. We've legitimized it and given it that real world connection without having to do much extra work on our part. And when kids can see the point, as every good teacher knows, they'll be much more engaged. So great, we've added in a few STEM career connections into our classroom lessons. Now we've got some students interested in what we talked about. Maybe it was a certain career that day or a field, and they've shown an interest in it. What we need to do now is leverage that interest. The worst thing that can happen is get students interested and then not have a way to help them continue in that interest. We have 5 career pages, which is a great way to leverage that student engagement. I'll show you alphabetical because it's by far the most popular, but regardless of which of the 5 you are using, it can be used in the same ways. A, as a research tool for yourself. So maybe you're teaching a lesson and you come to this page to just see what careers exist and how you can connect that to what you are already going to teach. Or B, as a research tool for your students. So for early finishers or just to save the last 5 minutes of every class, hey kids, come to this page, find a career that relates to what we did, explain what they do. It doesn't have to be fancy. Of course, you can do much more, obviously, but just as a starting point, if nothing else. We have over 85 different careers profiled. All of them look similar to this. So there's a picture of someone doing it, student-friendly definition, virtual job shadow, downloadable information sheet, and a try it, where students can actually do something, a test drive of that career, so to speak. I've seen that there are a lot of resources for students to watch and read, but there's not a lot for them to do it, to go out and see what that person really does. And that is what the try it is all about, a hands-on approach. Going back to the info sheet though, this is included in English and Spanish. It includes an expanded definition and all the essentials that a student would need to at least gauge whether it was something they were interested in pursuing more. If so, when you click on the salary box for any of our pages, it leads to the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics page for further research. And this is where all of the information has been drawn from. This is all government data, which is where the information from our website has been sourced. Recapping here, we do offer all 5 premium pages included free with any school or district purchase. All right, so step 3, we've added in a few career components to our lessons. We've given students a research tool to continue exploring their interests and careers that relate. Now we have a few students that are already interested in something. They know engineering is for them. They just need help sorting it out. Or they know space is their jam. They just need a little bit more help figuring those pieces out. This is where the STEM Challenge program comes in. I'll show you what it looks like both from the student and the teacher perspective. So in the student version, it is an online course, pretty much. It's a personalized learning platform where students can progress at their own pace through a series of interactive digital modules. They feature videos, web quests, online quizzes, presentations, lots of fun stuff related to a specific theme. So space, computer science, engineering, arts, fashion design. This one happens to be sustainability. Every challenge also includes a challenge where students, it's like one step further from the try it section of the career pages, where students are immersed in a robust way to experience and do that career. So imagine if all of us, when we were 11 to 15 years old, a teenager, imagine if we had all had this opportunity to be able to test drive and do something that related to what we wanted to do in our future. I think so many different people would have made different career decisions if they had learned at a younger age what that career was all about. And that is the purpose of these challenge programs. Also includes parts for teachers. So as a subscriber to our challenge program, every teacher gets a teacher challenge pack, which is essentially hard copies of everything the students will be interacting with in that challenge, as well as tips and tricks of how to implement it in your classroom. Again, 15% off for all Conroe teachers and students as part of our existing contract. So a quick recap, you can see everything that I've talked about, including links at careerinstem.com/product/Conroe. We do have pricing, lots of all the information that you'll need as you keep on exploring. I'm also happy to answer any questions if you wanted to chat one-on-one. I know this is just a brief introduction, brief overview. More than happy to jump on a call or do an individual webinar. I can also send a free resource so you can see what our resources are like, our lesson plans, as well as a demo for the challenges if you wanted to give a test drive for that. My email is here. It's just ashley@careerinstem.com. Email me and we can go from there. And again, reminder that our approved vendor list is likely under Greater Good Consultants rather than Career in STEM. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to partnering with you Conroe teachers and students this year, and talk to you soon.